So welcome to Step into English program. Hello. Yes, so we are going to do a new class today based on adverbs. So this program is designed by Shilpa Saira Foundation. Last couple of weeks we couldn't do the class, but we are going to resume it again. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Hope you can see it. So let's see what are adverbs. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen, and at the same time I'm sharing the link for you to click on and save for future use. You can go to this link. You can access our program on Shilpa Saira Foundation platform. Okay, adverbs. As you see on screen, adverbs in Sinhala we say Kriya Visheshana. Right? So we learned adjectives, Nama Visheshana. So this is about adverbs, Kriya Visheshana. So what are adverbs? Adverbs tell more about the verb in simple language. So for example, if you take a verb, it modifies, it tells more about that verb. He runs. He runs. How he runs? He runs fast. He runs fast. He walks. He walks slowly. Like that. Excuse me. Like that, you can tell more, or you can explain more. You can give more meanings, and you can assign more information about the verb that you are talking of. So here it is explained. An adverb is a word that tells us more about that verb. Okay, and also you can see most adverbs describe the manner, place, or time of an action. Manner. Manner කියන්නේ යම් කිසි ක්‍රියාවක් සිදු වූ ආකාරය. How it happened. Place, where it happened. ස්ථානය. And time. වෙලාව. සිදු වෙච්ච වෙලාව. So let us see some example, and then you can understand this well. So if you take these adverbs, slowly, here, yesterday, these are all adverbs. Jane drives slowly. How does Jane drive? The manner, type, belongs to how, the way, the manner of driving. He drives slowly. So we know slow is an adjective. A slow car, a slow bus tells more about the noun. But here slowly is an adverb. It tells more about the way he drives. The verb talks more about the verb. And the party is going to take place here. Where is it going to take place? Here. So the place, adverb here is here is an adverb, and it tells the type that it belongs to is place, where it happens. It answers the question where it happened. I called him when? Yesterday. Call, it's a verb. When did you call? Yesterday. So it talks about the type. Okay. And if you just simply see how these adverbs are generally made, you can guess by looking at adjectives, right? Many adverbs end with the suffix ly, slow, slowly, right? Most of these are created by adding ly to the end of an adjective. Okay, so let us see some adjectives. Here, slow. So you add ly at the end of this adjective, then the adverb is created simply as slowly. So these are regular formations of adverbs by taking the adjectives and putting ly. We call them suffixes. අන්තිමට add කරන අකුරු කිහිපයට අපි කියනවා suffix එකක්. මුලින් add කරනවා නම් prefix එකක්. So another lesson. So anyways, you just learn that it's a suffix. So to simply you can form an adverb by adding ly to an adjective. Delightful. Delightful means satutui. Satutu. He's a delightful lady. She's a delightful lady. Right? So, delightfully. She smiled delightfully. Hibiddenama prabodhamat. Delightful කියන්නේ. Hope. Hopeless adjective. And adverb hopelessly. Aggressive. Aggressively. Aggressive means harima kalahakari vidiyata. He is an aggressive boy. Kalahakari lamek. He behaved aggressively. So you can simply see the regular types of adverbs are made by adding the prefix ly at the end of the adjective. Okay? And let us see at the same time the functions of these adverbs. ඇයි මේ adverbs අපිට ඕන වෙන්නේ? මොනවාද ඒකේ functions? ඒකේ ක්‍රියාකාරකම් මොනවාද? Right? So the principal job of an adverb is to modify or give more information about verbs. So just like when we were learning adjectives, we said they are noun modifiers. Adverbs, their main purpose is modifying the verb. Right? They simply modify and give more information about the verb. So let us see what is modifying a verb. මොකද්ද මේ modifying a verb කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? ක්‍රියා modify කරනවා කියන්නේ. Right? Janat speaks how? Everyone speaks. But if you talk about Janat, Janat speaks loudly. Then how does Janat speak? So it answers the question how he speaks. Manner. Marlon lives locally. Where does he live? මේ අපේ අහල පහලම locally. Right? එයා ජීවත් වෙන්නේ වටපිටාවෙමයි. මේ අසලකමයි. He never smokes. Now, what is the adverb there? So here you have noticed in previous two examples, adverbs came right after the verb. But in the third example, you notice a special occasion where the adverb is placed before the verb. He never is the adverb here. When, how often, it answers the question, how often, when does he smoke? He never smokes. කවදාවත් smoke කරන්නේ නැහැ. කවදාවත්ම නැහැ. Okay, the other function of an adverb is it modifies an adjective. So far we learnt and the general knowledge about adverbs were that it modifies a verb. But here you see, not only a verb, it can modify even an adjective. නාමපදයක් modify කරන adjective එකක්. නාම විශේෂණයක්ුත් modify කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ adverb එකට. So let's see an example. So here you notice, he is really handsome. He is handsome. You know, she is pretty. Those are pretty, handsome. Those are adjectives. but you can add an adverb before that, and you can modify the adjective. He is really handsome. So really is an adverb. She is so pretty. So is an adverb there. So when we are doing exercises, you can see this well, right? And so modify. So we know adverb tells more about a verb. Also, it modifies a verb. It gives more information about the verb, and also it modifies an adjective. And not only that, it modifies another adverb too. ක්‍රියා විශේෂණයක අදහස වෙනස් කිරීමටද එයට හැකියාවක් ඇත. It modifies another adverb as well. It can modify another adverb as well. She drives incredibly slowly. She drives slowly. Yes. අම්මෝ හරිම හිමීට. විශ්වාස කරන්න බැරි තරමට කියනවා. She drives incredibly slowly. Right? Like a snail. Right? Okay. But adverbs have other functions too. මේවට අමතරව මේ adverbs, I mean, lesson එක වැදගත් කියලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හිතුනොත් මේ අපි මේ කතා කරපු functions අරුණාම it has other functions too. What are they? It can completely change a sentence. It can completely modify a sentence. It can give a different meaning to a sentence. Here, you see, without the adverb, I can't know everything. මට හැම දෙයක්ම දැනගන්න බෑ. ඔව් අපි ඔක්කොම හැම දෙයක්ම දන්නවද? නෑ. එහෙනම් ඉතින් අපි බහුශ්‍රත වෙනවනේ. Omniscient කියනවා අපි. ඔක්කොම සියල්ල දත්. So, but here you see an adverb is introduced. Obviously, ප්‍රත්‍යක්ෂ වශයෙන්ම. ඒ කියන්නේ it's 100% clear. හැමෝම දන්නවා. We cannot know everything. So you see, we can't know everything කියනට වඩා අපිට ඒ වචනේ හොඳටම 100% modify කරන්න පුළුවන් obviously කියන adverb එක දැම්මම. කියන්නේ ඔයත් දන්නවා මාත් දන්නවා අපි හැමෝම දන්නවා. හැමෝටම හැම දෙයක්ම දැනගන්න බෑ. අපි නොදන්න දේවල් තමයි වැඩිම. Obviously එක හරිම obvious එක ප්‍රත්‍යක්ෂයි. So obviously I can't know anything. I can't know everything. අපි හැම දෙයක්ම දැනගන්න බෑ. ඊට පස්සේ ඒකට අමතරව modify a prepositional phrase. We are yet to learn prepositions, but prepositional phrase එකක් කියන්නේ on the way home. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා. ගහලා තියෙන සුපර් මාකට් එකක් ඉස්සරහා. ගෙදර යන ගමන්. Right? ඒකට අපි ඒක ගන්න prepositional phrase එකකට. On the way. Like that, inside the door. It's a prepositional phrase. Inside. තනියම preposition එක විතරයි නෙමෙයි තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ වචන කීපයක් තියෙනවා. ඒ විදිහකට අපි කියනවා prepositional phrase එකක් කියලා. We'll be learning them when we go to advanced levels. Right? It's immediately inside the door. Immediately is the adverb here. Immediately means වහාම එක ෂණයෙන් එක පාටම දොත ඇතුලේ තමයි තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ you cannot see anything. If you just say without this adverb, it's inside the door. එක ගේ ඇස්සේ. දැන් මේකට කෙලින්ම වෙනස් වෙච්ච meaning එකක් එනවා. It's immediately inside the door. කියන්නේ හංගගත්තා වගේ වෙනසක් එන්නේ. එක ගේ ඇස්සේ කියනට වඩා it's immediately inside the door. දැක්කා විතරයි ගේනවා අය කොහෙද කියලා හිතා ගන්නත් බෑ. අන්න ඒක තමයි එතනින් mean වෙන්නේ. So that like that these adverbs can give an entirely different meaning to a sentence, and it can completely change the whole meaning of a sentence too, right? So, and that is one function. So out of these functions that we'll be talking about, and other than that, there's another part that we have to learn about these adverbs. Adverbs have many forms, right? So as we learned earlier, most of the adverbs generally, regularly can be formed by adding ly at the end of the adjective. And you can see the examples given here. Quick, quickly, soft, softly, strong, strongly, honest, honestly, interesting, interestingly. Likewise, you can form the adverbs by adding ly to the adjective, right? But those are general ways, the ordinary, regular form of making adverbs. So everyone knows that. But you cannot form all the adverbs like that by adding the suffix ly, right? Because not all words that end in, another thing is, all the words that ends with ly are not adverbs. So, for example, if you take friendly, it ends with ly, but it is not an adverb, right? So he's a friendly boy. It is an adjective. So don't misunderstand these adverbs and adjectives just because it ends up with ly, right? So some adverbs have no particular form. විශේෂිත අපේට ඇඩ්වර්බ් එකක් සමහරක් ඇඩ්වර්බ්ස් වලට නෑ ඒක ly වලින් හඳුනුවම තමයි ඒක වෙන්නේ. එහෙම කියලා අපිට විශේෂ ආකාරයක් නෑ හොයාගන්න. Like for example, well, he is a good boy. Good කියන එකේ adverb එක වෙන්නේ well කියන එක. Right? He runs fastly නෙමෙයි අපි කියන්නේ. He runs fast. Right? Very. Right? Never. Always. Often. Still. So hope you can remember when I was introducing simple present tense. If you had been with me, that I introduced these words. These are signal words. So all these words are adverbs, and you cannot just identify them by looking at the verb formation. They are not made by adding ly to the end of the adjectives, but yet they are adverbs. Okay. And the other thing that you have to know is, right, adverb position. So previously we noted that usually an adverb is right after the verb කියලා කිව්වා අපි. ක්‍රියාපදයට පිටිපස්සෙන් තියෙන්නේ කියලා හිතාගත්තා. මේ සමහරක් තැන් තියෙනවා එහෙම නැති වෙන අවස්ථා. Right? It has three main positions in a sentence. Sentence එක positions තුන් තැනක ඒක තුන් විදිහකට තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. The common one is, we study adverbs carefully at the end of the verb. Study carefully. Carefully is the adverb. Then we often study adverbs before the verb. Study how often? Nitarama, often kilat kiyanawa. We often study adverbs. So it can be before the verb. So it can be after the verb. It can be before the verb. And also, now we will study adverbs. Now is the adverb here. Because when you study it modifies. You find the verb and tell and see what is it modified of. Study. When? Now. Now we will study adverbs. Right? So now is here the what? Adverb, and it is in the beginning of the sentence. Right? So likewise, it can be the position of the adverb can be either at the beginning of the sentence or before the verb or at the end of the verb. It can be in the beginning of the sentence, in the middle of the sentence, or at the end of the sentence. It can be anywhere. But the best way to tell if a word is an adverb is to try making a question. Adverb එක හොයාගන්න තියෙන හොඳම විදිහ තමයි question එකක් අහන්න ඕනේ. ඒ sentence එක අරගෙන ඒ sentence එකට how කියන එකට answer කරනවා නම් where when මෙන්න මේවට answer කරන පදයක් තියෙනවා නම් අන්න ඒක තමයි adverb එක. So we were talking about that at the beginning of the lesson, right? So, and we'll do it here. Most adverbs describe manner, place, or time of an action, and it answers to the question when, where, and how, right? Manner, place, and time. So that is how you can find out the adverb in a sentence. It answers to the question how, where, or when. Then the word is probably an adverb. So it cannot be, it can be something else also. But if you are studying adverbs, the easiest way to find them, find whether it's an adverb or not, is to see whether that question, which word answers to the question, answers to one of these questions. Right? Okay. Now let's see. Junko plays tennis aggressively. So we want to find out which word is the adverb there. Then you can answer the question, how does Junko play tennis? How? Adverb. How does Junko play tennis? Aggressively. තාම දරුණු විදිහට ප්ලේ කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ එතන. ඇග්‍රෙසිව් කියන්නේ හරි කලහකාරී දරුණු ඔව් ඒත් එක්කම හරිම උද්‍යෝගිමත් විදිහට full effort එක දාලා ඔක්කොම පුළුවන් උත්සාහය දාලා ශක්තිය දාලා යමක් කරනකොට අපි කියනවා aggressively කියලා. Right? They have a small house. They have a small house. Is there an adverb? Let us find it out by asking how, what, when. So what kind of house do they have? Can you say what kind of? What kind of? Then is it an adverb? Small house. So remember, go back. We do not ask the question what they are to find out whether it is an adverb. We can only ask how, where, and when. Then if it answers to what, then it cannot be an adverb. Adverb. Then it has to be an adjective. What kind? Then next one, Matthew called the police immediately. When did Matthew call the police? When? Immediately. So it answers those three questions. When? Yes, then that is the immediately, vahama. That is the adverb. Okay? Right. So let us do a small quiz to check our knowledge on what we've learned so far. Okay? Yes. You can either tell the answer or you can send it through your chats. Ranil and I go out for coffee. What is the answer? So 30%. So you see, this much of percentage they do go out for coffee. So what is the most suitable adverb out of these three? Ranil and I. Never, frequently, or occasionally. So learn, these are very useful adverbs. Never, කවදාවත් යන්නේ නැහැ. 30% යනවා. Frequently, I think at least it has to be 75 or more than that. Occasionally, another word is rarely, seldomly, once in a blue moon. බොහොම කලාතුරකින් යන්නේ. Then what is the adverb? Go out for coffee. Yes? What is the adverb? Answer. Correct answer. Tell me. Either you can tell by unmuting your mic. If not, you can send as a chat. Yes, what is the answer? Yes? Someone is sending the answer. Excellent. Occasionally. Right? Yes, let's see. Occasionally. Click for answer. Here you see that occasionally answer is given here. So you can access this platform on Shilpa Sayara Foundation, on Step into English program, and you can test your knowledge on your own by doing these exercises. Okay. Bandula, 90%, has ice cream for dessert. For dessert. What is the answer? 90%. Tell me, what is the answer? You can send us a chat. Is it usually? Some excellent. See the answer? Yes, it is. Next one. I, 20%, drive my car to work. What is the answer? 20%, okay? What is the answer? Hardly ever. Excellent. Right? Hardly ever. Okay. Yes. Next one. My sister eats vegetables. Yes. My sister eats vegetables. What is the answer? Arima කලාතුරකින්, no percentage. Ne? Never කියන්න බෑ. එතකොට my sister eats vegetables very seldom. Okay? So then why it can't be, so you can guess it. Very. Can you say my sister eats vegetables very? Can you say my sister eats vegetables very rarely is correct. But here very seldom. So this is something that you can learn, because seldomly is not used in written language. You have to use it as very seldom. So it's a special case. So it's 0%. Rains here in the summer. What is the answer? Yes? 0%. Never, sometimes, doesn't. What is the answer? It sometimes, 0%. Or it never, or it doesn't rains. See the grammatical structure also. Doesn't, you never say rains. Doesn't rain is correct. So what is the answer? Yes? What is the answer? It never rains here in the summer. Okay, likewise, you can check on your own by check on this. Okay, and you can do the exercises on your own. And let us move back to our next part on adjectives and adverbs. Using adjectives and adverbs. Okay, so when you talk about adverbs, we cannot refrain from talking about adjectives, right? Those two go together. So let us see how to use adjective, how some words behave as adjectives and sometimes behave as adverbs, right? By changing their formations. So, you know, beautiful is an adjective and is beautiful. And sings beautifully, and noun, subject pronoun. So it tells more about this lady, beautiful, adjective. And sings, how beautifully she sings. So beautifully. Warm, the room is warm. Harima unusum rasnek, room maker. So it is an adjective. Joe smiles warmly. So see the මෙතන රස්නේ නෙමෙයි කියන්නේ. හරිම උණුසුම් හිනාවක් දුන්නා ජෝ කියලා කියන්නේ. Slow, The car is slow. Me car එක හරිම හිමින් and this bus is slow. And drives slowly. Okay. So hope you can notify how these adverbs and adjectives, as we talked from the very beginning itself, change by adding ly at the end of the adjective, right? And the other part is identifying all right, so let me take another lesson. Right. Okay, let me share my screen again. Can you see the screen? Yes, these are all about the parts of speech that we've been learning so far. So let me come down to the adverbs that we are talking at the moment. Yes, this is adjectives. And these are verbs. And yes, adverbs. Yes. So yes, adverbs can modify adverbs. So we talked about those things. And also, yes, if we just sum up, what are these adverbs? So they modify or describe verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. And also they answer one or more of the following questions. So remember, they answer when, that is about the time, how, where, that is the place, to what extent, degree, not what, but to what extent, කොතරම් දුරකටද ප්‍රමාණය, right? And many end in ly. This is what those are the main things that we were talking of. So let's once again see the categories that those adverbs belong to. How, fast, slowly, well, poor, poorly, odd. Hari amutu විදිහකට කියන he's an odd person. He did it very oddly. Crazy, crazily. So adding ly. Walk fast, but we never say fastly කියන්න. He walks fast. How do you walk? How did you spend your vacation? Please walk carefully. Then, if you answer to these questions, when time is concerned, always, usually, never, forever, සදාකාලික, now, then, ඊට පස්සේ when we give instructions to follow, later, soon, ඉක්මනින්ම, tomorrow. Okay. Now I will go to the park. When will I go to the park? Now. He went to the park now. So you see, now is an adverb there. We will now go to the park. So this is what we told. It can be at the beginning of the sentence, at the end of the sentence, and even in the middle of the sentence. Right? It can be right after the verb, or it can be before the verb. Right? Where, place. Where, away. Atin, pitatin. Here, me metana. inside ඇතුලේ, there අතන, up උඩ, down බිම, right? We are inside. Where are we? Inside. The car is outside. Here is Lou. මෙන්න Lou ඉන්නවා. So you can notice inside is a preposition, outside is a preposition, but here they act as adverbs. Okay, so you see that we cannot kind of categorize some words into these are adverbs, these are adjectives. Yes, some adjectives and adverbs, of course, you can categorize, but some parts of speech overlap. එකිනෙක මත එක වැටෙනවා. ඒ අවස්ථානුරූපීතව. Right? So to what extent or degree? මේක හරිම important මේ part එක. කොතරම් දුරකටද? Right? I am too tired. Tired modifies. The tired is already an adverb. So it tells more about that adverb. It modifies this adverbs by another adverb, which is too. It is so boring in here. So boring here. You can avoid this in. It's not appropriate. It's wrong. It is so boring here. So it modifies the adjective boring. And here again, an adverb. This is quite all right. So all right, adverb, quite all right. We are almost there. Almost. අපි මෙලහකටත් එතන. අපි එතනට පොඩ්ඩයි තියෙන්නේ. සිංහලෙන් වචනයක් නෙමෙයි almost කියන්න. හැබැයි අපි කියන්නේ තව පොඩ්ඩෙන් අපි එතන අපි එතෙන්ද ඇවිල්ලා වගේ තමයි. So that word is used. That is an very important adverb. Almost. I'm almost done. මෙලහටත් කරලා ඉවරයි. ඉවර නෑ. ඉවර කරන්න ළඟයි කියන වචනේ. Right? So learn these things. And, as we talked earlier, adverbs can modify adjectives. Adjective, beautiful. Her gown is too beautiful, right? And adverbs can modify adverbs. The fire blazed too dangerously. Dangerously is an adverb. It modifies by another adverb too. To tells to what extent the fire blazed. Blazed can gini dada naginawa, gini puhuru gahanawa. And dangerously tells how the fire blazed. So it answers to what extent and how. So that is how these adverbs are formed. Adverbs may come before or after the word that they modify. Modify karna, definitely a verb ekak thamai modify karanne adverb එක. Before or after the verb. We often complain about the cooking. Complain to which degree? Often. So it comes before the verb. We complain often about the cooking. So here often goes after the verb. So it may come before or after the verb that modifies. Right? And Linda did not know the answer to the riddle. Right? Linda didn't know the answer to the riddle. So can you find out when adverbs modify verb phrases, they often come in the middle of the phrase. ඒ මොකක්ද ඒ කියන්නේ? දැන් අපි අර on the way home කියලා මං කිව්වේ එතෙන්දී අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තේ. ඒක වගේ තමයි. Falling stars are often seen in September. Falling stars are often seen in September. Falling stars කියන්නේ අපි අර අහසේ තරු වැටෙනේවා shooting stars කියලාත් කියන්නේ. ඒවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපිට අහසේ දැක ගන්න පුළුවන් කොයි අවස්ථාවකදීද? Often seen in September. Often. So you see, when adverbs modify verb phrase, මේ phrase එකම ඉන්නෝනේ. තනි වචනයක් කියන්නේ නෑනේ falling stars. Adverbial phrase එකක් එනවා. එතකොට ඒක සමහරක් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට adverb එක modify කරන adverb එක තියෙන්නේ sentence එකේ මැද. Often. Right? Next one. Suddenly the door opened. For emphasis, අපි emphasize කරනකොට emphasize කරනවා කියන්නේ යමක් තරයේ අපි ඒක stress කරලා කියනවා නම් ඒකට ලොකු බරක් දීලා කියවනවා නම් ඒ වගේ adverbs ගොඩක් වෙලාවට sentence එකේ මුල තමයි අපි ලියන්නේ. ඒක separate කරනවා කමාවක් දාලා. Suddenly එකපාරටම the door opened. Right? And finally, after hours of climbing, we came to the end of the trail. Finally, avasane, after hours of climbing. Right? So you see, there are two adverbs there. So they are separated with commas. We came to the end of the trail. Trail එකකින් ලොකු ගමනක අවසානයේට අපි ආවා. අවසානයේදී පැය ගානක් කන්ද නැගලා අපි ලොකු ගමනක අවසානයට ආවා. Right? Okay, so those are that is the lesson based on adverbs, and I hope that you've learned some new points on these lessons, and if you want to know something more, if you need to know more, in addition to that, if you need to know, you can ask from me. And other than that, I will give you some extra work, extra links, which you can use. Yes, I shared the lesson, sorry, the test on adverbs, and let me share you the lesson on adverbs also with you. So what you can do is, you can click on them and copy and paste the links in Silpa Saura website, and later on you can access them and learn on your own space. Okay, and yes. And I'm sending on the Alibaba and 40 Thieves, and there again you can find many adjectives, adverbs, and everything. And I'm again sharing a song with lyrics, which you can click on it, and while listening, you can find out more adverbs. And do you have any other questions to ask? Are there any questions to be clarified? Yes. Okay. So I hope I see that you've learned. And next week, I'm going to teach you a very, very important lesson, which is preposition. Preposition is really very important lesson. So I hope to do that lesson next week. So thank you so very much for joining the class, and hope to continue the class with you all like this in future too. So have a very good night. Thank you. Thank you.